Long necks. And forgive me not, please. Wide necks. I will never not make that joke.
Good day, and welcome to Two Girls, One Corset, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of period dramas, from bodice-ripping romance to scandalous court intrigue.
I'm Mags, your resident historical costumer and hopeless romantic.
And I'm Kaylin, a public historian and freshly baked Bridgerton fan. After devouring the first season of Bridgerton, I'm now hooked and eager to dive into season 2.
And that's exactly what we're going to do on this podcast. Watch and review each episode of Bridgerton, giving our unique perspectives on the characters' costumes and historical intrigues.
So grab your corsets, boil yourself a cuppa, and join us as we continue our journey through Regency-era England with Two Girls, One Corset. We'll be dissecting every romantic entanglement, sartorial splendor, and historical nuance that Season 2 has to offer.
And Kaylin will be bringing her fresh eyes to the series, having just started watching. It is going to be a wild carriage ride.
That's right, and I'm excited to share my thoughts on the characters and storylines as we go along. Let's get started.
Heyo!
Oh.
Okay,
we're back, baby, and there are bees in the bonnets.
There are bees in the bonnets. Bees in the bonnets.
Bees in the bonnets.
It's the bees in the
Bees in
bonnet.
the trap.
Bees. How are you, Kaylin?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
It's been very rainy, so it was a great day to stay inside and watch Bridgerton.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I decided to go for a run and re-listen to old episodes of our pod because apparently I'm an egotist. No, it's more because I just like listening back to them after they've come out. And it started raining immediately when I stepped a foot outside. I swear I'm cursed. But, it was good because then I got to just chill out and sit and do some writing. So, it's all in all pretty darn good.
I do have some exciting news.
You do?
We finally hit 15 followers on Spotify.
Woo! Pow, 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 pow!
Yes!
Oh my gosh, what did we promise? You promised.
We promised merch to. I promised merch to everybody.
Wow, Kaylin.
So, everybody, you will be mailed a sweatshirt. Don't worry about sending me your address. I already have them all.
Wow.
Don't ask.
Okay, I'm scared now for our listeners, Kaylin.
Shh.
I low-key want to just make merch for me. And I mean, if anyone else wants to have some merch, just, let us know. We'll make some designs and see what happens.
I've been wanting to make merch for the longest time, on my own personal pages and stuff, which I kind of stopped making, history meme content as much as I used to. But for the longest time, I used to meme on Alexander and Napoleon.
No, I know.
And their fruity kiss. And I wanted merch of that so badly, but...
I mean, we can instead have Nandor,
and Benedict, superimposed 80s engagement portrait.
With Lord Byron in the background and Thomas Thorne.
This sounds like a Regency version of Friends.
No one truly told us it was gonna be this way.
Your occupation is laughable.
Seriously, that spun out so hard when I was editing. I was just listening to it and I got so invested.
I know. Dear listeners, that was a surprise for me as much as it was for you to hear Mags's additional thoughts on this. So that was quite fun.
Well, were you into it?
Fun little surprise. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
When you mentioned Thomas Thorne, I was listening to the episode while I was writing at my desk, and I was trying so hard not to snicker because I was they'll ask me what I'm laughing at, and I can't explain this easily to people. I don't really tell people at work that often about
what you do outside.
The content creation and stuff. Yeah. And everything. So, but then every once in a while, somebody will find me out and about, and they're like, "Hey, why did I see you on my For You page?" And I'm like, Nah.
Did
you follow? And they're like, are you okay with that? And I'm like, please, I want the numbers, yes. So,
Anyways, that's cool. Nah, it's, I mean, I kind of want just a stupid merch t-shirt or something that I can wear to, the club and people will have questions. I feel it would be, a great conversation opener. Also, I saw that we had 5 reviews on Spotify, which is amazing. 5-star reviews. I think I texted you about it, Caitlin, because I was like, oh my gosh.
Really? I don't remember having heard anything about that. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to check that out after the recording
I was
today.
so
I'm
excited. I
surprised
sent you a
didn't see anything about the
screenshot.
reviews.
I know.
I'm so happy.
We're
Oh
so
my
happy.
goodness.
Like, we're grateful for every single 15. Imagine if there were 15 people in your room right now. I know you'd be very stressed out, but that'd be a crowded room.
That's a lot of people.
That's a party.
Like, if you were throwing a dinner party for 15 people, you'd have to prepare a lot.
Yeah.
15 is not a small number.
No, so
like,
that's another thing we're promising is to invite you all over for dinner. Just kidding.
Yeah.
No, this is cool. I mean, I think this is so fun. It makes me excited. Well,
Yes.
it is almost as fun as it is to have a bee in your bonnet, wouldn't you say?
Indeed. And as we did in season 1, we are taking things back with a flashback.
And we're taking it back with Daddy. As we see CGI Jonathan Bailey is hunting with his dad trying to shoot a stag.
Okay, for like the first 3 seconds or so when he has his his face kind of tilted to the side, I legitimately thought they had just hired a younger actor. And then when he stepped out and everything, I was like, oh, wait, no, they've just yassified him a little bit to be like, yes, this is a teenage boy.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the faces actually look really good. I keep thinking about it, and it's like,
Yeah.
because, yeah, no, it's good makeup, or it's very good CGI. I'm not sure which, but he looks good. The only thing that's, like, a little bit funny, but, I mean, they can't really do it. I mean, they maybe could, because he looks so big for an 18-year-old, 17, 18-year-old. When he's standing next to his dad, like, they look like they're the same size, and I feel like they probably wouldn't have been, but whatever, you know,
I mean, to be fair, as someone who had a brother that could grow a full beard at 14 and, like, hit a giant growth spurt.
Which one?
You know, my brothers, well, both of them did, but Chuck could grow a beard by the age of 14.
I mean, not into beards at all, but, yo.
Yeah, no, the genes are strong. You know, the genes were strong with Chuck when it came to. So, like, in freshman year football, when they're doing No Shave November, all the other little freshmen are, like, growing peach fuzz, and my brother looks like a dwarf from Lord of the Rings, minus the fact that he's super tall. But so I'd say that it's possible. It's not unheard of, but they do look a bit more because of, like, his size. They almost look a bit more like acquaintances versus father and son.
Yeah, no, that was the only thing that took me out of it a little bit. Like, I don't know if I wonder if it's then just makeup and not CGI. Because I feel like that would have been a thing you would have just, like, shrunk him a little bit when they're standing next to each other. I don't know. Because I feel like that would definitely be possible. If they're doing so much, like, fine work on his face with CGI. Mm-hmm. Anyways, what do we know? Well, anyways, he misses the stag, and Daddy Bridgerton, like, shows him how to do it, and he shoots it immediately, and you can see, like, this joy that is on Jonathan Bailey's face this entire time. And
that was cute.
It is so sweet. It's so, so sweet. We don't really see that all that much. The only other time I took note of that we've seen it is when he is chasing Kate in the park. Which, you know, I don't know. I was just a thought. Well, they make it back to the Aubrey Hall, the family estate of the Bridgertons. And they're picking flowers for the ladies of the house, which is very sweet. It was, but also, it annoyed me so hard as someone who knows hyacinths very well. The fact that they had just, like, stuck stalks of hyacinths into the ground like that, I was like... Yeah, that did look too neatly cut when he pulled those out. I was a bit perplexed. Yeah, not here for it. Well, as they're picking flowers, there is a bee! You hear it, like, buzzing for the minute up before it happens, which I had heard about what was going to happen before I watched this. So immediately upon hearing that, I got very tense. Whereas, like, if you were watching this with fresh eyes, I imagine that would just sound very ambient. You wouldn't really think twice about that. Whereas when you know, you're like, oh my gosh. I know. And he gets stung on the neck, and they don't think much of it. But then very quickly, I don't really know how fast with bee stings this happens, but it felt very, very, very fast. That, I mean, yes, that the throat swells up, but, like, the redness and everything. But whatever, it's for the plot. Or maybe some of our listeners know more about, like, bee stings and, like, that kind of allergic reaction, because I have allergies, but it takes a little bit longer for it to react. But whatever, he is swelling up. It looks absolutely nasty, and he would have loved an EpiPen in this moment, let me just say. Oh. It's so sad. And
Anthony is crying out for help, and Violet comes through very heavily pregnant. Like, she's about to pop a shorty any moment, and that's devastating to see. And so she's holding on to Edmund, and as all people do in movies when they're about to die and they look at their beloved for the last time, they reach up to hold the last hand before going limp.
I mean, this entire episode, I must say that the woman, do you see what her name is, playing Lady Bridgerton, is doing such a good job. Like,
amazing.
Especially in these flashback scenes, like, I was feeling with her, and it was so much more love. Like, in this dying scene, there was so much more love than it was in all of season 3. Just saying.
Oh my gosh, I know. And there was like barely a word exchanged between the two of them at all. It was just this look.
Yep. And it was more, you could tell so much from just this look, like, not even knowing, like, the Queen Charlotte storyline, which I know you haven't seen. Have you seen it yet?
I watched like half of it.
Oh, okay.
I need to finish the whole thing. I think I'll probably watch it after I finish this season.
Well, without, like, the background of everything, like, it's just incredibly painful and so sweet, and I don't know. Anyways, well, Anthony is going through all the emotions as he's going to fetch someone else to help, because, like, a doctor or anyone, like, it's and then we cut to credits, and the Tawn is all going out to the Bridgerton's country house. Is what we learned from the Whistledown, and the Sharmas are going out earlier. And most importantly, in the scene where the Sharmers are sitting in the carriage, we also see baby Newton sitting like an absolute king on Kate's lap. And I'm like, you're the best dog ever.
Oh, Newton.
He's the king.
Very sweet.
I love him.
And all the ladies are discussing. And Lady Danbury reminds them that it is an especially good sign that they've been invited to the estate. It could be a very nice token of affection, and perhaps by the time everybody else shows up for the special summer event, then Edwina might even be celebrating a proposal.
Yeah.
But time will tell.
But they're also making the point of, like, don't just accept any proposal. You gotta be sure of yourself, because I feel like Edwina might have some spice of the system, because she's just like, oh yeah, this is my purpose. I'm about to get engaged. Like, she's giving a little bit of Daphne, in my opinion, where it's just like, my purpose.
Yeah.
Automated. Which, you know what? Fair. Yeah. Either way. Well, the Featherington, they really don't want Jack to marry anyone else. And Lady Featherington is talking about maybe cousin marriage. Which they have a very strong reaction to. But honestly, especially because it's like forced cousin, like, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's really not serious. And she's like, marrying your cousin isn't shameful. It's normal. It's regal. The royal family does it.
Yeah, no, for real.
They also do it in some random place called Alabama.
Seriously, no, but also, do you want to... I need a story time. I'm so sorry this episode is going to be long. I apologize. But story time. Because I have... not personal experience. No, kind of. I don't know if you can call it personal. You can call it whatever you want. Dear listeners, this might be cut because I don't know if I want this to go out, but Caitlin, you need to know. Basically, I grew up in, like, a small farm town, right? And there was this family that was just, like, a bit weird. They were kind of, like, pulling off to themselves, but I was, like, hanging out with their daughter that was my age. And then my mom, she took me aside, like, hey, you noticed that family's a bit weird when I got older. And she explained that their grandparents were cousins.
Ooh.
And then her parents were also cousins.
Ooh, no.
I know. So they were fine. They just, like, looked a little bit weird. That was just, like, something slightly off, you know what I mean?
Were they really good at swimming?
I don't know. Why?
Okay, because the webbing usually helps.
Well, anyways, as you do, like, I was, like, scrolling on my town's, like, Facebook page the other, like, 6 months ago, and, her face came up. We used to be friends, like, we're not close at all, we're not even friends on Facebook or anything, but I decided, like, oh my gosh, it's her, like, I should look her up, like, how is she, what's up in her life, has she managed to leave the town? No, she hasn't. And I look her up, and I saw, oh my gosh, she's married, how exciting, like, you know, she has a life. And then I'm like looking up her husband. It turns out it's her parents' cousin.
Oh my gosh.
And they now have kids too.
Oh my gosh.
And they had
well, at least the family reunions will
the family reunions
be a good way to avoid dating apps, I guess.
I'm just like, these children, like, they don't look right. They don't look right.
Well, look at how well it turned out for the Habsburgs. There's a bright future ahead of them.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm just like, I'm so concerned. Like, I don't know if it's genetic or something. Like, to fall in love with only, like, people who are close to you. Because that doesn't make sense biologically. Because biologically you want as much diversity as you can.
Yeah, maybe it's like a family tradition or something.
But the thing is, like, I was, like, scrolling on her Facebook page as well. Like, they had been together for a while, but they weren't able to get married because the state was like, yeah, don't. But then they managed to, like, appeal and everything, and they got married. But yeah,
yeah.
Small town Sweden.
Anyway, so Mrs. Featherington, or Lady Featherington, has a plot up her sleeve now, and she keeps suggesting to Prudence kind of to try and sort of sway her or manipulate her into the idea of, you know, matching with Cousin Jack. And she's like, oh, yes, I shall marry Cousin Jack. She's like, don't call him that.
It's
and so
it's okay. Like, it's okay. It's just one generation. It's fine. Also, fourth cousin, not your immediate cousin.
Yeah, not that serious, but it makes it sound weird to be like, Cousin Jack,
yeah,
let's get married. Cousin. And so they're off to the modiste then, because if Prudence is going to seduce her cousin, she's going to need some nice dresses.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're back at Audrey Hall, and Daphne and Augie are arriving, and we are getting hinted at that they're going to play a game, and Daphne can't miss the game, and it's very Tumblr 2010. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, well, it was also a really funny moment with Eloise. Eloise is funny in this episode. Eloise...
Oh, yeah.
They're like, Eloise, come see Augie! And she says what everyone thinks. She says, has he changed since I saw him last? And I'm like, same. At least in my opinion. So Eloise is very relatable. Daphne is here to help out Anthony, and is only like 90% spiteful. It's like, oh yeah, you helped me out with when I was being courted. Let me help you.
Yeah, and Anthony knows how poor of a job he did with that, because he says, is that a promise or a threat? Because there's fear in his eyes as
is fear.
He's told this by his sister.
But hey,
that man is afraid because he knows how much he messed up.
Yeah, he does. Well, the Charmers are here, and we are ever so pleasant. Kate smiles at the house, just like, wow. But then as soon as she sees Anthony, it's frowning time. And I must say, like, Anthony walks up and talks to Kate first. He doesn't talk to Edwina. He doesn't talk to Lady Mary. Just to Kate first. And he gets introduced to the best dog in the world, Newton, who is apparently an excellent judge of character as he growls and barks at Anthony. And I'm like, good boy.
I love that.
I mean, I would trust him with, if it's like I'm gonna go out and on the dating spree, I would bring Newton and be like, hey, what do you think? You know? Like, not to bring it back to the Cheddar-Newton debate, but I don't think Cheddar could do that.
You're right. Cheddar's too mild-mannered.
He is. So, Newton is our boy.
Another point for Newton. But it doesn't end there, because Daphne sees them talking and she goes, you must be Miss Edwina, to Kate.
Yeah, and Daphne is so confused. Like, I love those memes of this scene. It's just Daphne like, what? This is not Miss Edwina?
Like, confused, because the chemistry is off the charts and we can all feel it. So they all get settled inside, and Eloise is saying that everyone needs to prepare for battle because they get spirited in the countryside. And Kate and Eloise are bonding over the game because they both have fiery personalities. And I think that it's, you know, kind of refreshing for Eloise to have that, have that support, or like, somebody to bounce off of without kind of being shut down.
It does. I feel like Eloise is less
Mhm.
annoying with Kate, because I feel like Kate is definitely has the maturity that Eloise doesn't, and it kind of rubs off on her. So really,
Mhm.
she just like needs another role model in her life that she can somehow see herself
Yeah.
in. So hey, good for Eloise. Well, also, Anthony is taking his mother's ring, and Violet is really struggling with this because she really wants Anthony to be certain that this is the right choice he's making.
Mm-hmm. And we get another flashback scene where Anthony, after his father just passing away moments before, is immediately being swarmed with questions by members of the staff while his mother is sobbing on the floor, and they're asking him, like, do you have the key to your father's study? We need to write to the people of the village and let them know what's happened. A casket needs to be made. We need to have your things moved into the master bedroom. And he's just absolutely struggling getting all of this at once, and panicking, because not only does he have this horror of watching his father die right before him and his mother being in absolute hysterics, he doesn't even get the time to process it. He immediately has to step into a leadership position.
Yeah. No, I feel like that wasn't handled very well. The fault really falls to the servants, because a death is not an emergency. Like, the emergency has passed. You know?
I feel like, too, they were like, we couldn't find a key to your father's study. They should have access to all of that. They should
at the
be
very least, the
more
butler should.
on top of that. Absolutely.
Like, it doesn't really make, and I just feel really bad for Anthony, and you can kind of tell that he's been struggling with this trauma, like, for his entire life, and that's essentially what the flashbacks here are, like, building up to, is, like, hasn't processed this trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And in this episode, he kind of, like, relives it as well. Jonathan Bailey also does such a good job in this episode. Like, oh my gosh.
He delivered in this. He did such a great job.
He is good in general. Like, I do truly, if I see Jonathan Bailey in something, I probably will watch it, because I trust that he will deliver.
By the way,
what?
He's starring in a production of Richard II in London next, like, February.
Oh.
Do you want to go?
Maybe.
Because
it would be fun. Maybe.
It sounds like fun. I've been looking at the tickets online.
How much are they?
While they're relatively affordable. I think they're, like, honestly, I'm worried. I mean, our 15 listeners might steal all the tickets if I say I think they're like £30 or something.
What, 20?
Like 20 or 30, something like that.
Okay.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. Well, yep.
Yeah.
Well, Daphne is telling the Sharmas about Pall Mall and how to win the game, and you can tell that everyone's just really competitive, except for Edwina, who is just, like, wants to crawl out of her skin. Which is
Poor
Edwina
is, like, so uncomfortable in the midst of all this. You can see, like, even though the conflict is, like, all in good fun, it's stressing her out, and she's worried about people being upset.
Yeah.
And
which is not really the Bridgerton
they're
way.
all trying to, kind of like, Daphne at least is trying to kind of reassure her that everything could be okay, but Kate has never been more in her element.
No.
She is ready.
She's so ready, and it's just, like, pointing out another, like, look how similar they are. Look how much Kate makes sense in this setting. Which is, it's very much, like, it's very rubbing our nose in it a little bit, like, throughout the episode, and this episode and the next episode, too, like, how perfect Kate, in a way, is. Like, she is really the super graphic, ultra-modern girl for Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
It always goes back to
And then in the meantime, we cut back to the modiste, where Portia is trying to get Madame Delacroix to lower the bust line on Prudence's dress as much as possible.
Yeah, these dresses are literally nipple height.
Things are going to pop out if I take this down any lower, and so Lady Featherington's like, fine, I guess we'll go to the new modiste that's open down the street.
Yeah, no, seriously. And honestly, I also wrote here, like, maybe add some nipple tassels to the dresses as well. Might be, that could keep it safe, because it is nipple height, and then you just add some tassels, and you're safe. And if they accidentally pop out, that's a show. It's a dinner and a show.
Yep,
I solved it.
And then in the meantime, Penelope's sitting there and she's still a bit awkward, kind of after having dealt with the surprise encounter with Madame Delacroix in the market. And so she's like, hey, your design was nice. Also, I hope you won't say anything about what I said. And she's like, well, a lady's business is her own.
Yeah.
And so she's like, okay. We do get a hint, though, that Madame Delacroix's business might be suffering a little bit due to the competition because she gets this fabric and she's like, I hope I'll be able to use it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll get to that because I have some points on that. But yeah, no, definitely. Mm-hmm. Well, we are picking mallets back at Aubrey Hall, and guests should pick first. Okay, the book here is actually really funny, and I remember this. This episode I did remember a lot from the book. And in the book, in the TV show here, it's like, oh, the guest picks the mallets, and Edwina picks, like, the baby blue one because it matches her dress or whatever, and Kate picks the mallet of death. And Anthony is trying to seem cool, like, but Kate says some men can't perform without their familiar tool, like a child with a blanket, and I love her.
Honestly, that was iconic.
And then everybody quickly picks their mallets, and Anthony's left with a pink mallet and is so salty about it, but it's like trying to play cool. He's like, yeah, no, it's fine, okay, it's fine. He's not fine. But in the book, it's actually so funny because, Edwina is like, really doesn't want to play Pall Mall, so she's like hiding up at the house. So Anthony's like, I'm gonna go get her. So Kate is left with the rest of the Bridgerton siblings. And they're like, hey, we should divide up the mallets. And so, but they're all scheming that, oh, you know what would be so funny if Anthony doesn't get the mallet of death. So they leave, like...
I like that.
Yeah, so they leave the blue mallet because it will match Edwina's dress, and then Kate takes the mallet of death and leave the pink one for Anthony because it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, like, one of the funnier, because then when Anthony, like, rocks up half an hour late from what he had said he would show up, which was, like, infuriating Kate, he has to have... And it's just funny. I enjoy it. Well... Kate blends perfectly with the Bridgertons and their energy, while Edwina definitely looks like she's being overshadowed, and, like, she is not comfortable whatsoever. She's just, like, pretty much standing in a corner, while the others are, like, 2 steps away from, like, actually beating each other with a mallet.
Mm-hmm. And then, in the meantime, Benedict is telling Colin that he's got some things on his mind because it's clearly affecting the way that he's playing, and he says that he's applied to art school. Woo! And he's awaiting the results.
And
we love that for our
so
Benedict.
Proud of him. But also, oh my gosh, I just noted something with Benedict that just made me love him even more. Do you know what it is?
What?
His
wait.
His cravat has a brooch in it, and I love. I love it. Mm-hmm. And all I want to do is I want to take it off. It's so pretty.
I was really admiring his waistcoat in this scene as well.
Oh, I don't remember that. I was looking at that neck.
I mean, it's a nice neck.
It is, and there's a nice brooch on that neck. No, I was living. Anyways, hi.
Yes.
This podcast is not about Benedict Bridgerton alone, even if we would want it. Well, Lady Mary and Violet are bonding, and it's really cute. Dead Husband Club.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very sweet. They're, discussing that their daughters are, like how they're both, daughter moms and stuff, and they're both widowed, so they have that common ground together. And Lady Danbury also says that it's a slow start, but bloodshed will hopefully be taking place soon. And they're talking about how, our matchmaking, went so well last year that surely things will go well again this year.
I'm just wondering, like, do these women actually believe in this match? Because I feel like they're smarter than this. Like, come on.
I know. Like, because I refuse to believe Daphne is the only one that sees it.
Yeah, because Daphne is not that clever.
No.
I mean, Lady Danbury, I can't remember if this episode or the next, but she kind of no, it's the next episode, but, I mean, spoilers, she starts to see it, and she's like, what's going on?
Yeah, no.
And anyways.
Yeah, so back to Pall Mall.
And Ant is sweating, because Kate has the opportunity to best him by skeeting his ball out of the field, and she does, and Anthony has never been more infuriated.
Yeah. And then in the meantime, Edwina hits her ball and it kind of goes out of the way. And she just decides, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and cut out.
Yeah.
I'll just let it be. And so Anthony's like, I can go with you. But, deep down, he's like, I can't go. I got to play the game and stuff. And then Colin uses his turn to launch Kate's ball. And so he's like, you guys better go get your balls, dude.
Yeah, no, Kate and
don't leave your balls behind.
Yeah, get your balls. Seriously, you gotta go get them balls.
Yeah.
Well, Kate and Anthony are out in the bushes, and who will give up first? They will not. Like, it's literally, the balls are in a swamp.
And Kate decides to, boss up and do what she does. She just lifts her skirt and takes her beautiful pink shoes and just stamps into the mud.
It was so
and
stressful,
gets her ball
but so
out.
funny. I mean, I would have done the same.
I know.
I have done the same.
I was like, oh, how do you wash it? Those are such pretty shoes. But
yeah.
Anthony is sort of standing there, and she's like, oh, are you worried about your fine boots? And so he decides to go out and he does the same thing. And then
mad.
He hits his ball out. He's, just wanting to get back to the game. But then as he steps out, Kate gets stuck.
It's so
And he's
cute.
like, he just stands off to the side and is like, well, then just pull your foot out. And she's like, I'm trying. That's the whole point. It's stuck. And so he goes to help her. And naturally, they both end up falling backwards into the mud. But they're laughing as they sit up.
They are, and it's so funny. Like, they fall down, and Anthony's just like, it's not amusing! And then Kate is just like, I didn't say it was. And then they're just laughing like little children. And I feel like it was just so healing, probably, for Anthony. Like, I don't know. It was just very sweet.
Yeah.
Anthony begs Kate.
He probably doesn't get those opportunities a lot.
No, and it was just really sweet. And Anthony, he begs Kate for a second chance, and third and a fourth chance at this point. And Kate is just like kind of doesn't want to say yes, but I feel like she's also processing her own emotions here, and I don't know, I feel like they're healing each other, and I mean, that's not a great relationship where you're becoming codependent on each other, but it's still very sweet.
Yeah.
But Kate hits the ball.
Absolutely.
And the ball hits a tree, and then it hits a bench, and his face goes from flirty to super sad. And then we hear in the background that Daphne has indeed won this year's game of Pall Mall.
Oh.
And we find out that the bench is right next to Daddy B's memorial, and Kate feels a bit bad.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And she doesn't know this quite yet, but of course the time will come that she learns the significance of it. But
yeah,
we, of course, as the audience, have learned the cause and the root of all this trauma, so naturally.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, we get a flashback again.
Yeah, this one was a pretty dark one, honestly. So the thunder is storming outside, and Violet is in pain because she's about to give birth to Hyacinth, and she's saying that something is wrong. She's given birth 7 other times before, but there is something wrong with this. And so the doctor is telling Anthony that he needs to make a decision, and he doesn't understand, but poor Violet is like, no, I'm the patient, talk to me. I'm the one going through this. That, leave my son out of this. Talk to me.
Yeah, no, women in childbirth has been such a wild ride for, honestly, ever, I'm sure. That women don't have autonomy over their own body, that men are making decisions for them, and are making things easier for them. For instance, birthing stools used to be a thing that you didn't lie down, because lying down on your back is, not helpful. Instead, you're supposed to, sit in this birthing stool where, you have gravity that helps you and everything. So honestly, it's just horrible. It brings me back even to, okay, I'm sorry, I talk about it all the time, Outlander. In Outlander, you have when Claire is giving birth to Brianna, she doesn't get even the choice if she wants to give birth naturally. Instead, they put her under and have her give birth when she's put under, and she's just screaming, protesting the entire time as they're putting the gas mask over her, and she passes out. It's kind of the same energy. But yeah, the child is breached, and for some reason, this 17-year-old is supposed to make a decision whether he wants to save his mom or his sibling.
Yeah, which, crazy. Yeah. So, he finally just tells the doctor, do what she
Yeah.
says.
No, it's very painful, and also like the performance that the Violet actress is giving in this scene is like, oh my gosh, it is so heart wrenching.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Like, I feel like you get levels of the pain as well, which is why it's even cooler with her. Because like when he dies, it's one sort of pain, and now it's a different. Like,
Yeah.
it's so many levels, and then later on, it's a different one as well. So, it's just so good. But yeah, we're having a fan school at the Featheringtons' house, which is way more funnier. How to draw attention to your titties.
Says it.
Are we sure that cousin Jack is a boob man? I'm not sure about that because he didn't even have one glance. Like, I would have looked.
I don't know what kind of man he is. What do you think
He's not a boob man. I don't think he's a boob man. He's just, like, not really interested. I think he's more of an ass man, not gonna lie.
I could see that. That makes a little bit more sense.
Mm.
But he sits down with the paper and Prudence is like, oh, it's so unseasonably hot. And, you know, he's like, cool. Anyway, the Cowpers are coming over for dinner, so you guys should get ready for dinner.
Yeah. Which is, like, not exciting. You just see Lady F, like, all the math is going past her eyes. She's like, oh my gosh, this is not great. Well, we're having the least romantic tea with Anthony and Edwina. I feel like it's so stale in this room.
It really is.
Yet both are trying to be really into it. I feel like it's so forced.
Yeah.
But then they start talking about books, I guess, and Anthony's like, Edwina's like, I read a lot, and Anthony's like, I don't have time to read. And it's like,
and she's like, okay, well, I'll tell you about the books that I read. And he's like, that sounds nice.
Yeah, and it's like, it feels so faked, but Edwina's like happy that she has something to talk about. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, I must say, like, hey, Anthony, you go for like listening to her, but I feel like someone talking at you about a book that they have not asked for is the same as like when someone starts telling you about their dream.
Yeah.
Like, I really
did you ever have a dream, or you had this, you can do anything?
I had a friend, like, I still love her and everything. I don't think she's a fan of the podcast, so it's fine, but, like, she would tell me about her dreams, like, every day. Like, if I had a sleepover at her, I had to, like, prepare myself mentally that she was gonna tell me about her dream. And I was like, I don't care! I really don't care. Can we talk about literally anything? But, anyways, cool. Dan, Bree, and Violet are listening by the doors to hear the latest gossip, and I thought that was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that?
Yes, indeed. And Anthony is like, yeah, this is all going well, even if Edwina, did leave early. But while talking to Daphne, he's like kind of surprised that Daphne's like not approving, and she's like, well, she's nice, she's lovely, there's nothing wrong with her, but like, be so for real, dude. Just, this is not your wife. But Anthony's like, no, she's the one, that's it. And he's like, she's like, okay, I'm happy for you or whatever. Anyway, so Eloise sees Violet and Lady Danbury eavesdropping, which is quite funny. But then we eventually cut to that rather interesting dinner with the Cowpers and the Featheringtons, because there was never a more diametrically opposed dinner party.
It was so weird. Like, talk about, like, awkward situations. I feel like this episode played that off really well. And I love, like, a ruined dinner party prompt, and they truly delivered here. Like, Jack is scooping out the situation. You can tell it's so slight, but, like, oh, so do you have any siblings, Miss Cressida? And Cressida doesn't have any siblings, so that's good. That means that her children / Lord F will inherit the estate and the money. Great. And Cressida, apparently, we learn from Cressida herself, has a warm and affectionate disposition. Would you agree with the statement?
I mean, warm can be subjective, depending on what your preference is.
Like spicy?
Yeah, spicy, blazing hot, like get blisters when you get too close kind of thing.
Yeah. And affectionate as in that. Like, no, I can't
she will affectionately bully you.
Yeah, that's like the closest we can get here. Lady Featherington is pushing Prudence. Like, Prudence, did you just say something? He's like, yeah. Maybe I should display my singing voice. And everyone's like, no. But all I'm
Yeah,
saying,
and then
Prudence, when you want
Lady
to go to karaoke, I'm here.
Lady Cowper is just like, oh, well, Cressida is very accomplished too, and there's no way that Prudence would, be able to hold up against somebody else unless they match Prudence's striking voice. And so
I feel like
Prudence,
Cressida would.
I can't, I don't, Cressida doesn't strike me as being naturally musical, but I just love that Prudence is like, I can sing, and everyone's like, yeah, just,
no. Shh. No, honey, no.
Yeah. But what I love is this. What I really love is this next scene where Colin, talking about his gapillon, his study abroad, is offering Benedict this interesting tea substance. He was like, they use this to open their minds and relax. I haven't spent hours staring at a blade of grass and grease and ugh.
And you're supposed to have like a one little edge of a teaspoon, but Benedict has the whole shop.
Because he's stressed about the art school results, and so when he hears that it relaxes you, he's like, well, dang, F me up, fam, let's go. And Holland is like, oh no, why'd you do that? And Benedict's like, that tastes terrible.
I was like, this is not nice. And it's like, yeah, what do you think? But I love Benedict. He has no wrong. There's no wrong. Kate is having a cute little tea ceremony on the porch, and I'm so here for it. And Eloise,
it looks so good.
Eloise comes out and sits like, in the next little chair over, and it's like, it's cute. And then Kate asks about like why Anthony would have been upset, so Eloise joins her over with the tea. And so Eloise explains like why he would be upset about the memorial thing, which I feel like you could have figured that out yourself, Kate, but whatever. I like this little moment for them. And then Eloise asks like, hey, isn't it nice to be a single woman? And Kate is like, dude, like, it's not the best because there's like
it's
no place for us. Yeah, there's like no place. Like, we're attached to men. It's not cool. And I'm glad that someone that Eloise looked up to could tell her this. Although nothing sunk in.
Yeah, for sure. Meanwhile, Anthony goes back and has a look at his father's grave, and we get another flashback scene where Violet is dressed in mourning black, and Anthony goes to talk to her, and he was like, you look well today. And she was like, well, I bathed and slept. And she's basically just been going through the motions for how to get back into real life. And she's also heartbroken because she knows that she has a new baby that relies on her, and that new baby is never going to know her father.
Like, there's a quote where she says, Edmund was the air that I breathed, and now there's no air. And I'm just like, but it's also like, I think it's so incredible that they did not need to show them be happy and amazing for us to understand that, like, based just on that scene when he is dying. Like, that's good directing, good acting, like, good chemistry. Like, I don't know how they did that chemistry read.
They did incredible. They absolutely nailed it.
Good. They slammed that.
Really really just heartbreaking, because she says that in some case, like, to some degree, she wishes that she had died in labor so she could be with her husband.
Yeah, no, it's actually so good, like a display of grief. But then we also, like, as we see Violet throughout this episode, like, when it's not a flashback, like, how time has healed her. And I feel like that in itself is just like a wonderful message.
Yeah, because when we see her next, she's just replacing the flowers at the grave, and then she just kind of sits and talks with Anthony, and she says lilacs were his favorite, so she brings them to him.
Lilacs! Rose! No! Lilac! Lilac!
Forgive me not. What was lilacs? I will never not make that joke.
Jonathan Bailey, like, I love you, man.
So good.
Oh, well, Benedict is high off his tits in the dining room. And the room is allegedly lit really well. And the dinner is amusing, to say the very least. The twinkle of the candles is as we sit among the stars. So I'm like, Benedict, I'm here for you.
Oh my
And
gosh, it
Colin
was
interrupts him
fantastic.
and is like starts talking about Greece or something, and I was just like, "Shut up, Colin. Let him riff. Like,
Let my boy cook.
let him cook. Let him bake. Let him get crispy." Well,
Uh,
Anthony looks at so much with love in his eyes when he's talking to Edwina, but he's looking at Kate, and I'm like, dude, dude. And
like
Benedict,
you have every chance right now to cut the brakes and change your mind on this. Like you could just not.
seriously. But Anthony, what am I saying? Benedict also, he's in love with it. He's just like, oh my gosh, this food is so good. Like, he's having the munchies. But then he accidentally spills his wine, and he has the cutest whoopsie
Oh yeah,
moment I've ever seen.
he plants his hands on both sides of his cheeks and just kind of looks to the side like, "Oop, did
Like,
I
this
do that?"
actor.
I've seen that clip in so many edits.
He's like, boop boop be doo. Like, it's that energy. Benedict could easily replace Marilyn Monroe in the 7-Year Itch.
Uh-huh.
The spin-off we need. Who would play the husband? Have you seen the 7-Year Itch?
I have not, no.
Oh, it's actually a pretty good one, especially a good summer movie. I do recommend. Especially if you're knitting a lot. Like, it's a good one.
Yeah. Dear listeners, I'm working on a baby blanket for my sister at the moment, so I'm kind of looking to do like to absorb content while I knit, so I feel like I can watch stuff without being lazy.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of brain cells to watch, and it's a cult classic. So
amazing.
you should definitely watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just like whoop whoop be doo, as friggin' Benedict is all over the place, being so high. I could have an entire episode of Benedict being high.
I want a full season of it.
Maybe when it's his season, it's just him being high off his tits, finding love. You know,
probably
like,
the writers don't know what to do with him.
It's really annoying, but yeah, no, like anything he does, I'm just like, yes. I don't know what it is with this actor. I haven't seen him in anything else.
I've seen him in like a 30-second clip in Dunkirk.
I mean, that barely counts.
Yeah, no. They wasted his talent.
He's just so good. Like, this guy. I love Benedict.
Yeah, Lucas Thompson, we love you.
Lucas Thompson, we could take you home. And just, like, have you do the little both hands to the cheeks and go, oopsie. Anyways, Anthony attempts to propose to Edwina, but stutters and chickens out.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, Edwina is so upset that she wasn't proposed to, and she's blaming herself entirely, which is just like, oh my gosh, girl. Honey.
Yeah. It was really sad. She was devastated, and
she was
like,
baby girl.
It's sweet too, because even though, like, I think we keep mentioning how Edwina could have easily been portrayed as an unlikable character, she is still, like, even very humble, and like, she's like, well, it couldn't have been something wrong with anyone else. It's got to be me. That's not, like, I feel like a lot of people who are unkind or who are really bratty immediately look to people outside of themselves to blame, whereas a lot of people that get very anxious or kind of introspective, they're like, well, they're running a tally of their faults 24/7, so they could immediately pinpoint reasons with, like, oh yes, I did something wrong, no wonder it's my fault. And thankfully Kate is there to comfort her,
and she does, and I'm so jealous. Like, that head massage,
oh yeah, with the oil in the hair. Oh my gosh.
I mean, this is like, I think this is a Indian tradition to, like, massage your hair to get, like, moisture into it. So it's like, I love that they're bringing these traditions in, and like the tea ceremony that Kate does, and this head massage thing. I mean, it's just wonder. I feel like it's a cute little love letter to Indian culture and historical traditions and everything. I think it's cute. It's cute.
Yeah.
But I'm so jealous of that head massage. Like, I just love, like, if anyone touches my head, I'm like, yes, I'm here. You can do whatever you want. Which is probably not a good thing, but it's pretty much true. Well, Benedict,
really
we're going back to our favorite boy. It's Benedict, and he is so high, and he's painting the most bizarre looking paintings that I would so get a teacup with that motif on.
He's finger painting, and he's just like, oh my gosh, this is so smart. I am
so
so smart.
cool.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
like the Arts Academy doesn't need to dictate what good art is and stuff, which is funny because like almost right as he says that, Eloise brings a letter and she's like, it's from the Art Academy saying that he got in. And so he's like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm so excited. And Colin's like, didn't you just say you didn't care what they thought? And he runs to the window and he's like,
You shall all bear witness to my talent.
Which
And you know what? Good for you, Benedict. Good for you.
Which is so great, because with how much Colin's been going on and on about his grand tour, I'm glad Benedict is just taking the time to be proud of himself for something. And sad that he's
Honestly.
probably only doing it because he's under the influence instead of just naturally being proud of his talents.
Well, I feel like it's like his true nature is kind of coming out, and that's what we're seeing. And I mean, I feel like he would have been so excited otherwise too.
That's
and
true.
I'm just so happy for him. But I think also like this scene is might be one of my favorite from this episode actually, because I think it's just so funny because Eloise gives Colin such a read because Colin is of course can't shut up about himself, and he immediately starts talking about, oh, when I went to Greece and oh, life was so good, and then Eloise goes like, wow, why did you return home if you liked it there so much? And I'm like, yeah, Kate, Colin, go away. And then Colin for some reason asks about Miss Thompson, do you write to her a lot? And it's like, no, but she looks pretty close, we find out. And then we see Benedict just like sitting in the little window nook, and he's so romantic and cool, and he says, I am honored to accept your acceptance. It's the most satisfying scene.
I love that.
I love him so much.
Lady Whistledown is talking about how the new Modiste is tacky and indecent, and we see at one point like Lady Cowper is like making Cressida cover up once they read the news.
I mean, Whistledown also takes a digs at the Cowpers, where it's like, yeah, for instance, the Cowpers, like, she looks like a slut. And I'm like, okay.
I think.
Tell us how you really feel, Penelope. Well, but then she finishes it off by saying that Delacroix might be old, but she is capable. It's like, ah! And then Pen rocks up to the Modiste and she's like, see what I could do with my paper, like I can make you cool again. And Delacroix's like, did you really have to call me old? It's like,
and she's like, well, I had to like make it seem like unbiased and stuff.
But yeah, so Delacroix decides to help Penelope run Whistledown, which is like, okay, cool. Anthony is trying to befriend Newton through the door, and I think that's so funny. But Newton just growls, like doesn't even lift his head. Yeah, like, you're not even worthy my attention. I'm just gonna growl at you to go away. And Anthony, horrified, closes the door. I'm like, same.
And Kate then goes for a ride on her horse, and when she comes back, she sees Anthony standing outside at the entrance. And so she's like, Edwina's in her room. She was upset. And so he's like, well, I didn't mean to make her upset. I still want to propose to her. He's like, I just, my siblings are being crazy. Benedict was high as a kite. That's not the right conditions to make that kind of thing like that. And Kate's like, well, you're just making excuses. And they're starting to get into a heated argument about it.
They say here's a literal quote that I enjoy that they said. He said that my feelings would not allow me to speak, and then Kate replies to it, so your feelings are too strong for you now. It's just the sass. Like, I love these two. It's good. Well, it is B time, and Anthony is freaking out.
Yes, and there's a bee flying by, and he starts to freak out. And when Kate gets stung, he just is going into full-blown anxiety, and he's like, are you hurt, can you breathe and stuff? And she's like, what are you talking about, it's just a bee and stuff. And so then she takes his hand and puts it on his chest to show that she's okay, and they're getting close together, forehead resting against hers, and he's like,
their noses are touching. But then, this is a really tense moment, and you feel like finally they're gonna like understand, like, this is a thing. But then a horse has a thing to say from the horse's mouth. It's like, what? And they break the spell. Kate skeets out of view, and so does Anthony, and he is just trying to process his boner. He's a gentleman, jeez, and that's credits. But also, I need to talk about the book, because this scene in the book is different, and I was low-key I low-key wished we would have gotten this, but it would have changed then the rest of the season, which I feel is a lot more satisfying, but still, just the scene is so funny. So, in the book, um, it's like a party, so all of the entire town is there. And Kate just needs some space because she's like really upset with Anthony, like he's being a brat, like as per usual. And so she goes out in the garden and she's like hanging out there, and then Anthony shows up and is like, "Why are you being so annoying? Like, you're so annoying." And they're having like this kind of same conversation, and then the Beast thinks Kate, and Anthony freaks the frick out. Like, he loses his marbles, and he's what he does is that he's put his lips to her titty to suck out the venom. And this is not just done in, in a private setting, because this is a garden party. Everyone is out in the garden. So Lady Featherington, Lady Danbury, and Lady Bridgerton sees it.
Wow.
And so they have to get married.
Wow. So very different then. Oh my gosh.
I know, it would have been so, but yeah, and then the rest of the book is basically them dealing with the fact that they were kind of forced into a marriage that they didn't want. But in truth, they really, really wanted it. But of course, and they can't tell each other. So like, that storyline is just kind of sucky, but I find that hilarious. I just wanted to see Jonathan Bailey trying to suck venom out of a boob, because that would have been funny.
Yeah, I wonder how well Netflix would have been able to get away with something like that if they did attempt it. So
I mean,
who knows?
honestly, the books are terrible, and I'm glad that they're stepping away from most of it. Although there were things they should have stepped away from. Like, I would have loved to see Anthony Bailey showing up and being pissed off about having a pink mallet,
Anthony Bailey.
Anthony Bailey! Did I say that? Jonathan T.
You did.
Oh my gosh.
What's really funny is on a similar note, I was watching a video today, and it's like a YouTuber who gets a fair bit of sponsorships, and he's gotten so many at this point. He was like, "I'm here to talk to you about this VPN," but he accidentally called it, like, throughout the video, like the name of another VPN company that he's worked for in the past, and I was like,
oh, that's bad.
Oh my gosh, that's rough. That's rough.
I mean, what I did was cute.
Yeah, no, what you did was cute. It just, this was bad. And it was one of those things where it was just like, I try so hard to grow my content and everything, but you're paying thousands of dollars to this dude who's not even going to call your company the right name.
And I can't believe that he posted it as well. That's so bad.
I can't believe that none of his editors caught it. Anyway.
It's bad. Oh well. Well, we're good. It was such a good episode. We got to watch Benedict be high as a kite. We got to watch Benedict be excited about life. We got to watch Benedict be a little bit anxious and play a game and, just have some family time. We got to watch Benedict just be a big bro, be cool. We got to watch Benedict have a whoopsie-doopsie moment. We got to watch Benedict look hot with a bunch of brooches on his cravats that I'm 100% gonna steal because dang. What was your favorite moment from the episode, Kaylin?
The little squishy Benedict face is very cute. I did enjoy that a lot. I really enjoyed the Pall Mall scene and just watching the way the siblings all interact with each other and stuff. It's just very reminiscent of what family game nights and stuff look like. I have to give a lot of credit to the Bridgerton writers that they do a very good job of like realistically portraying sibling dynamics.
It is actually funny because that scene was shot basically, they just like let the actors go out and role play for a day in the garden. No one knew how to play Pall Mall, which you can tell as someone who used to play Pall Mall all the time as a kid, because I was an only child and it's kind of a game you can play by yourself. I played it all the time, and let's just say these kids don't know how to play it, and you can tell. But I feel like that's such a funny fact. Like, hey, go out and like role play your characters. You just have to say like a few lines, like Benedict being anxious and like, the preposition of like shooting the balls out of in the bushes and stuff. But other than that, just like go have fun. And I think that's so funny. But yeah, good times.
Thought that was very enjoyable.
Good times indeed. Well, KK. Shall we wrap this one up?
We shall indeed.
All right.
Thank you for listening to Two Girls, One Corset. If you enjoyed our podcast, be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review.
Don't forget to follow us on social media at 2 Girls 1 Corset Pod for behind-the-scenes looks, updates, and more period drama content.
And be sure to share the podcast with your friends who love all things romance and historical drama.
Until next time, keep your corsets tight and your heart open.
Farewell, dear listeners.
Wow!
And